Hey, welcome to today's pedal hard workout. Since we're going live right now, I'm gonna wait about a minute or so, let everyone hopefully get this pulled up that's joining me live. That way we can start in sync here on the workout if you're using the same platform and you've downloaded the workout. All right, we'll go here in about 15 seconds. All right, here we go. Let's get rolling. I'm going to start rolling the legs. Get clipped in. All right, so today's workout is steady state, calling it steady state RPM. So this is let's say more of a recovery endurance zone workout. Once we are done with our warm up, the majority of the ride we're in zone 2. So in that way, it's still a very quality workout, because we're riding lower end, and it's going to be a long time, 40-45 minutes in zone 2, so it'll be, again, really good quality. And what we'll do is we'll vary our RPM and move around in the zone just to maximize our time and have some specifics. Time sure goes by a lot, seems to go by faster, especially training indoors when you have some goals. I was careful not to be overly, last time I put up a workout that was lower end, I was all excited. I was like, oh, I need a break. I've been going a couple days hard. And then I was surprised by how hard it was. So today I'm mentally prepared. I didn't completely shut it down. Just gonna go another minute, just turning the legs over. Get out of the saddle a little bit. So watch should be really low. No real cadence. Focus just yet. So again, you're working out the kinks here of getting comfortable on your bike too. Are your look down at your feet lined up where you like to see them? How's that contact on the bottom of your shoes? How's your shoes, how are they feeling? Where are you on your saddle? You know, those of you that wear cycling shorts, hopefully you have cycling shorts. Is the chamois, you know, the pad in there comfortable? Is it aligned where you want it so you feel like you have a good connection to your saddle where you're sitting? Make sure your shorts are on your tan line. Gotta be lined up. Let's just bring our RPM up a little. I'm gonna bump up into the mid 80s. All right, good. So now just a little focus, just kind of your upper, call it the upper end of your zone 1, mid 80s. Maybe even towards 90 RPM here. Perceived exertion is low. We're going to go 5 minutes here. Working on our RPM, that's it. Keeping the watts low. You could join this workout without even a trainer, without anything. If you're just riding a bike or a spin bike, or for example with your cadence, you could just peek at a clock, count your RPM for 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then depending how long, multiply it, figure out your RPM. Because ultimately the goal here is, even with all these metrics, is that eventually you know approximately where you are. You know where your RPM is. You can tell by feel what zone you're in. It's important to get in tune with your body. Good, let's just bump up. Low to mid 90s RPM, power's still low. Zone 1. Good, another minute and a half, low watts. And then we get into the zone 2 portion of the workout. So how are you feeling? I'm feeling 9 minutes, just starting to feel warmed up, getting a little loosened up, a little more comfortable. But definitely not there yet. So I've broken it up into these blocks of 3, 3, 2 that we repeat in terms of minutes. And again, that's to give us some focus. And we'll use those time periods to change up our cadence. And just move around zone 2. So here we go. We're going to start low to mid zone 2. And just a comfortable RPM, 85 to somewhere 85 to low 90s. So now if you were training in my studio, you would be on edge right now because you wouldn't know what was coming. Whereas right now you know what the workout is. So there's nothing to be on edge about. Today's about relaxed zone 2 work. Great day to work on the form because we're not overly stressed with our higher end efforts where our heart rate's real high, or can really have good strong core engagement today. Good work on upper body and the feel of the weight on the handlebars a little bit. Again, putting our hands on the bars and sending some energy back into our core and our ability to be stable in our seat. There we go, I just broke the sweat seal. That's a good sign. 85 to low 90s RPM, just low, mid of your zone 2. Check your heart rate. If you have a heart rate monitor on, what you'll probably notice is in about another 15-20 minutes that your heart rate will start to actually come down, which is good. Okay, this next 3 minutes, we're going to bump up towards the upper end of our zone 2. And let's bring the RPM up about 5 to 10 RPM. So this is more like the drill portion of our intervals today. Here we go, higher cadence, right up against your upper end of your zone 2. Work on good form with high cadence. Just shoot for like 5, 8 RPM over what you might normally do. I give RPM suggestions a lot, obviously, but if you've never done 90 RPM, start there. If you feel good up at 100, come on up to 100 RPM. Just looking to be like 5 to 8 RPM out of our comfort zone. Be a good time to turn your fan on. That was a cue to my producer. Ah, that feels good. Start cooling off here a little bit. Good job. Here we go. 10 seconds. We're going to drop the power or the effort back down. Low zone 2 for 2 minutes. We're going to drop our cadence as well. Drop about 10 RPM. So drop on down, low zone 2. This is almost like a quasi-recovery. So take a peek at your heart rate. It'd be good to see just a subtle movement, maybe 5 to 10 beats. Your zone 2 is a range, so you should be able to adjust the power, and that heart rate needs to follow. Especially in such a low zone where you're not overly stressed, you should be trained to move around. So remember, all the same things apply. Good controlled breathing. Hey, there's Coach. Coach is late. So this is the lower end of our interval, the pieces of it. So if you should be looking to get a little heart rate recovery. Kind of like how this feels. Might do the whole workout right here. Alright, so we're just going to do a little bump in the power. Just bumping up into the mid-range, very subtly. And on this, you can even let your cadence drop again. Maybe 5 RPM. So we're doing sort of a lower, comfortable cadence. And then we bump to our upper end of the range and we do a high cadence. And then we step down again. What's up, Coach? This is Coach here. He's going to be under his watchful eye here. So in this portion, this is where our cadence would be the lowest. So go ahead and just find a comfortable RPM. So a challenge here would be, because you're letting your cadence come down, but you are bumping the power just a little, Can you keep your heart rate about the same? Or even, the same perceived exertion for just a tiny bump in the output? Take note of where you start to kind of come around. I feel pretty good now. It's about 20 minutes, so that's not an unreasonable amount of time to have to warm up. It's good. All right, in 20 seconds we have our 3-minute where we bump up to the upper end of our zone 2, and this is where we have our highest RPM. So take a look at your current cadence. Let's shoot for plus 10 RPM, but don't go over your upper zone 2 in terms of perceived exertion and power. Here we go. Or heart rate for that matter. Here we go. If you're using power and your heart rate is going out of your upper zone 2, then go lower power, because the cadence is probably forcing your heart rate up. Good. Think of the path of travel of those pedals. You're just attached to them. I call it cooperating with the pedals. Little push about 4 or 5 o'clock in the stroke. Minute and a half. "45 seconds. Good work. Stay on top of your RPM. This is pretty much, this 3-minute bump in cadence is about it for the focus today. So as we get in these, just be focused. All right, here we go. We're going to drop about 10 RPM down to our lower end of zone 2. Let's see how quickly we can get some heart rate recovery. Good, nice and relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Least amount of tension and effort to hit our goal here. That's the goal, to be relaxed. I'll use different points on my bike for reference of trying to be symmetrical. Like, it's like your chin over your stem bolt. You know, are you in line there? Sort of my nose, sometimes I'll look at the front of my stem where it connects to my bars. And then I'll peek down. It's like my belly button sort of centered on the nose of my saddle. So I have all these little checkpoints. Elbows are bent the same, shoulders drop the same. All right, so again, now we're going to do just bumping up the output a little bit, sort of mid-zone 2, but we can be a little lazier on the cadence. So this interval, this portion of the interval is the lowest cadence we'll ride. But our spread here is about, in total, we're working in like a 15 to 20 RPM window today. So about now, you should be ready like, oh, I feel good, I'm going to do some intervals now. No, you got to be disciplined, you got to hold back. Trust this zone 2 work. To let you in on a little secret, this is how the pros get so strong. They put in their time, the lower zones, lots of volume, just riding. I know it's hard to believe. Good, quick form check. Maybe move around in the saddle a little bit. Even get out of the saddle. Good, get settled back in. Switch up your hand position. Seconds, and we go into our focus portion, the 3-minute bump of cadence and power. All right, here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, bump that RPM up about 10 RPM. We're just going to gently push out upper zone 2 power or heart rate. In here. Nice job. Hold your focus. One more minute here with the higher RPM. Thirty seconds. Three, two, one. Good. Drop your cadence. About 10 RPM. Good. Just relax. Low end, this is where we are, the lowest part of the run here. Cadence about 10 below where we just were, we're on the pickup. Again, check your heart rate. Are you moving around? Maybe a 10, 20 beat window? That would be ideal.
Should you be shifting gears to make a watts cadence, or does the erg do it for you regardless of gear you might be in?
Okay, so somebody just read my mind because I was thinking about talking about this question I just got here since we're training live. Hold on a second here, we're going to go to mid zone 2, and this is with the lower RPM, so about 5 RPM lower than you just were. So yesterday I put my wife and my 2 kids through a workout, and I have a training studio, and in the studio we don't do a lot of what they call erg. So we usually set up a flat course, and people have to use their gearing to find, the approximate zone and cadence. So, your gears have a length, so it's not a perfect science. I watch people sometimes get frustrated, and that's why I give kind of a bigger range when I'm coaching. You don't have to be, there is no magical spot on RPM or power. You just have to get the general idea and realize your watts and the cadence. So, for example, if I say lower zone 2, 85 RPM, and you're trying to find that just with your gearing on a trainer, I mean, look, if you find 82 to 88 RPM is fine, and you're around your lower zone 2, I call it getting the gist of it. That's all you have to do. Now, with the erg, your ergometer mode, what's happening is your program is talking to your trainer, and it's loading the trainer based on what the loaded workout is. So you don't really have to change gears. You want to sort of be in a gear that's relative to the zone or the workout. So, Today I'm in zone 2, so I'm riding a gear that would sort of be in that range, if that makes sense. If you're riding, the only time I've seen the erg have trouble is when you do really low recovery. And let's say you're pedaling 90 RPM on your recovery, and the erg is supposed to be putting you at 100 watts, and you notice that your real-time watts are 130, that's where the erg can't pull you down enough because of the gearing you're in. But for the most part, you just need to select a gear and the erg will do the rest. So I noticed my kids were getting very frustrated with the real-time watts. So they were constantly changing their RPM, trying to match the watts to the erg suggestion. Whereas really that's the beauty of the erg. Here we go. So where are we here? Okay, higher cadence, upper end of your zone 2. So long-winded answer, but no, for the most part, the erg will take care of the load. You just have to lock in on the cadence. Give the erg, 5-10 seconds to calibrate. It's not automatic. You can't just follow your every subtle change. So get in the cadence range. The erg will catch up. Again, that's what my kids were doing is when the interval would bump up, they would struggle to just increase their effort, keeping their cadence the same. So, it's part of the training. I hope that helps. So here we are on the higher cadence portion, upper end zone 2. It's why I like to do both erg and just riding indoors where you have to use your gears, which is much more realistic to being on the road because your power just is everywhere. And that's where, when I coach, I always say, just get the gist of the effort. It's much more realistic, and also it's not, for example, when I used to go out on training rides and I would do a interval my coach gave me, if I had to stop at a stoplight or a stop sign or a car, something interrupted my interval, I wouldn't stop my timer, I wouldn't do anything. I'd just resume the effort once my whatever the distraction or the thing that slowed me down, and then I would just keep going. And I never would tell my coach that a car got in front of me or I knew that I did the effort, and yeah, I had a 10-second interruption, but big deal. Here we go, 20 seconds. Good, so dropping about 10 RPM. This is where our watts are the lowest right now throughout this 40-minute portion. And where the erg is different too from if we were just riding, for those of you that are following this workout on this program on Zwift, if we were just riding this course right now, we'd have to be very attentive to our gearing, and our watts would be much moving around a ton more. And you also have to produce that. You're pedaling versus having something give you the resistance. There's a difference. Yeah, so when I'm here in erg mode, I don't even really look, other than just to make sure I'm in the general range, plus minus 5-10 watts of the goal wattage. But I really just peek at my RPM. Make sure I'm getting the right RPM. Because the other thing the erg will do is if you speed up or try to beat the erg, some of them will try to average you back to the power. So you might see your power low for a few seconds and then back up to, it's trying to get you to stay in that range. All right, here we go. Mid zone 2, so bumping up our power, but letting our RPM drop about 5 RPM. So go ahead, get on your tops. Feel like you're out on the road on a 2 to 3% grade. Good endurance ride, you're not pushing too hard. You're just gonna keep control, keep your heart rate down. Oh, there's the water bottle. It'd be easy to forget to drink. Okay, so we've got 2 more bumps of the higher RPM. Sit out on our hoods. Maybe even do this one in your drops. Great time to work on being in your drops because the effort level is not super high, so you can put a lot of focus into your technique. All right, so here we are, 3 minutes, upper end of our zone 2 in terms of effort, and bumping our cadence up about 10 RPM. Maybe challenge yourself to be in your drops. You might feel this a little more in your hamstrings, especially the hamstring insertion up higher. You think about the rotation of your hips. This is where your saddle is. Feels like your saddle height's the highest because of your femur is rotated up and back. Good job. Hold that position. Keep the cadence up. Work on your breathing, especially if you're in the drops. "45 seconds. "20. "10 seconds. All right, come up to your hoods. Lower your cadence about 10 RPM. Let your power drop. Let your effort drop. Lower zone 2. When you get out of the saddle, 10 seconds or so. Check your heart rate. Hopefully you're having some success. 5, 10, 12 beats. If it's lower, that's even better. If your heart rate is hanging up, go ahead and just you can drop your cadence a little, or drop your power a little bit. Sort of force that movement. All right, good. So we're going to let our cadence come down about 5 RPM. Bump the power up a little bit, mid zone 2. More water, a little late on the hydration today. So get on your tops. Again, you're outside on a piece of false flat. Good control. You could go a lot harder, but you're not. You're just pacing yourself. This is my favorite portion here of this workout. Okay, 30 seconds, we have our last high cadence. Maybe try to down on your hoods, elbows bent, hunker down a little, or you can get in your drops again. So just looking for about a increase 8 to 10 RPM. Here we go. Upper end, zone 2. I know you might be tempted to do some threshold or a little power check. Don't do it. Good discipline. Come on. Hold back. Work on your RPM. One down, 2 minutes to go here. High cadence, come on. Final minute here, high cadence, come on. Good job. Twenty seconds. Good, so drop the RPM about 10. Lower end of zone 2. Or even lower with the power if you want. I want you on the low side, so drop the cadence. About 10 RPM, let that power drop. We get out of the saddle for a minute, 10, 15 seconds. Finish up that bottle. Alright, good. So, way low. Maybe try to keep the cadence around 85, 90, but get that power down. I just thought of something you can practice. Where's your water bottle without looking, as if you're out on the road? You should be able to grab your bottle and put it back without looking. And what if you grip your bottle closer to where it is in the cage of your bike, it allows you, a lot of people will grab it on the top, like here, drink it, but when they go back, they have to hunt around for their water bottle cage with the bottom of the bottle, and that's where sometimes you'll lose and you have to look. If you go down and reach where you can actually feel the cage and grab the bottle down there, you can take a sip, and when you go back down, your hand can figure out where your cage is and put it back, so you never look. It's a good technique for the road. See, I'm so old, I'm going to date myself, is when I raced, we didn't have these big bottles. So our bottles were half the size, so you always had to grab down by your cage. Whereas if you're newer to cycling in the last, I don't want to say it, 15 plus years, you might be not have realized that part of the challenge of grabbing your bottles is you grab them too high up. Now in races, we did have access to go back to the cars and get a lot of bottles, so we didn't want the weight anyway of having too many water bottles. All right, here we go. So great job wrapping up the hour. Thanks to those of you that joined live. And if you're watching this or doing this another time, hope you had a great workout. Make your day awesome. Catch you all in the next one.